Welcome. This is ActiveSpirituality.life. It is a weekly forecast program with astrology and a guided meditation activation to help you make the most of your week. It's run by Pamela Cucinell, that's me, the astrologer, and Suzy Meszoly, Master Healer. We invite you to find out more about our individual work. Suzy Meszoly, SuzyMeszoly-healer.com, or InsightOasis.com for astrology. You can also find both of us at ActiveSpirituality.life, and we look forward to your joining us every week. Please share with your friends. Here we go.
Welcome, everyone, to ActiveSpirituality.life with Pamela Cucinell and Suzy Meszoly, and welcome to 2022. Woohoo! We're here. We made it. Pam is going to let us know all about the week starting Monday, the 3rd of January, 2022, and I'll be back with our meditation. Pam, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, my dear, dear friend. And Suzy grounds me because sometimes when I'm looking in my ephemeris and doing this calculation, I'm in the wrong year. So she pulls me back in. No, Pam, it's Monday the 3rd. Although this particular point in time, it's hard not to clock it exactly just because there's so much going on as we continue to sweep through some of these big stellar pictures, which are still affecting us, even though when we look at 2022, we're not going to see the, excuse my language, the kick-ass configurations we've seen on and off as we first entered into this roller coaster energy that we've been in with the last decan of Pluto and Capricorn and the Saturn-Uranus square. But as I mentioned last week, that Saturn-Uranus is still going to be affecting us. So that is, it's as though it's, how to say this? It's as though we are, here's the best way to say it. The best way to say it, I think, is in terms of the overall pandemic energy, where there's no real ability to kind of quadrant off and section and say, okay, we're taking care of this camp, so all will be well. I mean, basically, in my opinion, metaphysically, and I'm sure I'm not alone in this, the pandemic has been a great reminder of how we are all connected and all affected by decisions individuals make, decisions governments make, decisions. We are in this millennium that has the two energy, which is, I've always thought more about celebration of individual innovation expression within universal consciousness. So if you look energetically at the way everything's evolved, we could say, well, the last millennium, the energy of the one, was very much about celebration of phallus and tall buildings and individuals and celebrities and kings and 1%ers. And we are in the denouement of all of that. That is all falling away. And so energetically, we're moving into, we're in it. It's just the resistance to it, which is what we see by these planetary cycles at the beginning of this millennium, which is basically breaking down old paradigms. And of course, there's tremendous resistance from those who have benefited or want to keep the old paradigms, or who are simply afraid of change, who are more comfortable with the pain and constrictions that they've always known than imagining that the world could be anything else. So that's the theme that colors this year. It's this, it's the frustration energy of those, or it's not even, it's, well, it feels like, of course, for individuals who are ready for that paradigm shift and for the exploration of the new and the discarding of old ways. So it feels very personal, but it's also just energetically where we're going. So the best ship to be on in this journey is the one that's going into the unknown. That is the best ship to be on. And yet it's human nature to be a little skittish about when I can't see the horizon or what's ahead. And so anyway, that's the little basic premise I give you for 2022 today. But Monday the 3rd, the moon is in the sign of Capricorn. And it's in Capricorn until 5:44 p.m. when it enters the sign of Aquarius. So what's happening in the morning when it's in the sign of Capricorn is this is real roll up your sleeves, what matters to you most energy. So focus that morning on what it is that you not necessarily care most about, but what it is you really want to face, get done, confront, deal with. And it may very well have to do with what matters most to your heart, or it may have to do with what you're just hyper aware has to be faced and dealt with. And that's an excellent way to begin the first Monday of 2022. Whether or not you actually implement or do anything that's connected to what that is, or it's simply an intention and goal. We're in that waxing moon cycle. It just began yesterday with the new moon in Capricorn, which is all about building the foundation that you want to stand on. It pretty much can be thematic throughout the year. It can be a short-term project, but it's anything you want to do that must get done, that you're willing to just do what's required and have the players on your side who can really follow through and deliver. That's the energy of the morning. Once the moon goes void, of course, at 11:22 a.m., whatever that was that you were doing should be done. And at that point in time, you can reflect and deepen into, process, focus on, understand, follow through with. But the initiation ideally happened before 11:21 a.m. If it couldn't happen before that time and you were simply setting goals or reflecting on it or putting that in place, then when the moon enters Aquarius at 5:44 p.m., then you can kind of continue to drive towards that goal. Actually, Tuesday, the 4th, is a very energetic day. In the morning, late morning especially, you want to be aware of where you are. That's another Uranus picture that you've heard me mention before. And so what happens is we have things out of the blue, upset, surprises, the unexpected. And so we want to be paying attention to where we are in space, because when that comes through, we want to be able to act on it decisively or move away from it decisively, depending on what's going on. But the last thing we want to do is have it sideswipe us. That's not a good way. So I always say the Scout motto when you see a Uranus picture in the sky is be prepared. Be prepared for anything can happen, and then you'll be fine. So the moon goes void, of course, at 7:45 on Tuesday. And as I said, it's a high energy, real connectivity day, great for networking, great for working with partners who have the follow through or direction that you have in mind. A lot can get done. Keep in mind that Venus is retrograde this week until the end of January. So it's not a time when we really want to launch an enterprise business product that we hope to have monetary traction from. But if you're doing that regardless, it's good to consult with your astrologer and find out, the best timing around that. Picture in the sky, because it can be done. You just want to look for the best time possible when Venus is retrograde. So Wednesday, the 5th, the moon enters Pisces at 7:17 p.m. So the moon is basically void in the sign of Aquarius all day. Now, this can be a tremendously fun day. A lot of conversations, networking, ideas, inspiration flying in. I would say just capture anything that intrigues you, jot it down, put it in your phone, snap a picture, and look at it at another point in time. It's best not to commit to anything rock solid when the moon is void, of course, because people don't tend to follow through. This can be a little different depending on your personal horoscope. If the moon in Aquarius is hitting a point directly, that may change what this picture looks like. But in general, when moon is void, of course, it can be fun. It can be great for follow through, working on projects already in motion, but it's not usually a good time to start something, propose something, or hope to make a contact that's going to go anywhere. Once the moon enters the sign of Pisces at 7:17 p.m., now we can act on whatever inspired us. Because now with that moon in Pisces, especially since it's moving towards the planet Jupiter, we are in a place where we can fall into opportunity. When things can be presented to us, ideas can spin off in directions that we hadn't even imagined. So it's very highly creative evening. Wonderful to hear music, some sort of cultural offering, visual, wonderful for artists, people who make things. Absolutely fabulous evening for meditation, for therapy, for anything that heals and connects. The moon is in Pisces on the 6th, Thursday, and we have a really juicy opportunity time, actually, most of this day. So I think it's a beautiful time to be connecting, and especially in the realm of dream. So what that means is that if there's something you wish or want to have happen or feel a desire or connection towards, put a little note under your pillow, or an image, or an offering, or a symbol that is about whatever that is you want to manifest or bring in. Because when you enter the dream realm, so much can happen intuitively and in that language that is beyond articulation. I have in my life literally woken up more than once with a problem solved, when I basically went to bed just kind of saying, I turn this over to higher power, angels, guides, because I admit in my blindsided humanness, I cannot think of a solution. And for an Aquarian, that's quite humbling to admit that. But Thursday night, going into the dream realm is a wonderful time to basically seed your unconscious with the possibility of solving a problem or coming to a solution that you can't imagine. And if you don't wake up Friday with that kind of solution first thing in your mind, then it may pop into your consciousness at some point in the day. Be particularly alert to the symbolic realm, things from the animal kingdom that might come to you. And what that would mean is you sight an animal or bird, insect, creature, and it's not necessarily in the natural world. You may see it on a monitor or just a book you pick up or a sign that you pass while you're on the street or moving around, but it captures you. You're arrested by the image. And so it can be very helpful to kind of explore, what is that animal? What is that creature telling me? Google Ted Andrews, Animal Speak. There's so much information that he was wonderful at teaching and sharing about the messages from the animal realm that many people have forgotten in their 24/7 technological, hyper real world. Okay, so the moon goes void, of course, at 5:23 p.m. in the sign of Pisces. This is, again, very lovely, restorative dream and evening time to meditate, take a moment, lose yourself in something that is not like the thinking mind, so that you're able to regenerate. It's wonderful, wonderful energy for regeneration. The moon enters Aries at 12:26 a.m. on Saturday the 8th, so right after midnight, the wee hours of Saturday. And if you're up and out doing things, you may get this sudden energy surge, which, unless you're a night owl, it would have behooved you to have gone to bed earlier before it kicked in, because it may expend or deplete you energetically when you would be better off sleeping and restoring. Once the moon is in the sign of Aries, this is an incredibly dynamic day on Saturday. We may get a lot done. Fire sign people, cardinal energy people, air sign people can really burn the candle at both ends. Not advisable. I'm just letting you know that some of us may be pumped on this day and fast action. So that's why it would be so beneficial the days before and with that new moon as we're moving through it, if you had really planned your strategy, because once that kicks in, we want to move forward. Other people want us to move forward. And unless we know our agenda and what's true to us, we can get pulled in to someone else's stuff. And this can be very apparent on Sunday the 9th, when some of us may find ourselves head to head or in power struggles with someone who had another intention than we did and kind of really pulled us in to this other thing that seemed more important or more demanding or had to get done. And so Sunday can lead to power struggles, confrontations, people feeling misunderstood and really having to demand or state their truth. Not necessarily a bad thing, but it's more graceful when we own it and are in control of it, than when we feel like we have been pulled to the max and we have to stand up and make a demand or confront or be in a tug of war with someone. So basically the weekend with the Aries moon can be dynamic, productive, fun, but make sure if you want to drive the car that you're driving the car, and make sure that all the passengers in the car really want to go where you're going. And now I turn it over to Suzy.
I'm just giggling at that, making sure your passengers actually want to go where you want to go.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the classic would be the teenager who's kind of put in the car and doesn't want to go and goes anyway, and then there's a blow up. So anyway, just that's a metaphor, but it can be actually a personal picture for someone. So
right. Yeah, I'm still seeing the cartoon characters. Okay. So how about if we do our meditation now, just about really almost like setting some intentions for the year.
Mm-hmm.
How's that? Okay.
Perfect. Mm-hmm.
Wonderful. Okay, so put on your meditation guys, put your breath into gear, get your body in the right place, and welcome to 2022. And we hear a lot about what's going to be happening this year and the astrology and some of the predictions. And let's make our own predictions now and put in our individual intentions for the year. And we know that the year is made up of 12 months and different seasons and our different obligations, our work, our fun, our families. We know all of that. And the question is, how are we going to approach this year? And what is it that we would really like to put into this year? So let's go into the year with a lot of energy of the self. What do I want? What is it that I would like to bring this year into the world, into my life, into the lives of others around me? So let's just create some open space. First of all, I find that's a really great way to start any kind of intention building, is first to create the space. So just visualize that you are sitting in an open space. Perhaps let's pick a beautiful field, green grass, springtime, where you can sit down and be nice on a little blanket or something on the grass, or just on the grass and feeling the grass underneath you, and just look around you and see the open sky, the open landscape, and just feel within your body, within all of the cells and all of the atoms of your body, that there's a little bit more space. So things are just spreading out. And feel your thoughts spreading out. And feel your breath spreading out. So we take a few deeper breaths and just feeling our breaths spreading out. And there's space around us, space within us, space in the sky. And as we feel all of that space, we know energetically now and symbolically that there are no restrictions. And just feel within your body and know within your mind that there are no restrictions. That all of this world is just energy of our making. And that we are in the constant action of creation. And as you're looking out in this beautiful meadow, feeling the space, feeling the optimism, feeling the ability to move forward, actually backwards, sideways, upwards, downwards, any direction at all. We have the space to move any way we want to. We have the mental capacity to do any kind of thinking we want to. And as we're feeling all of this freedom and all of this space, boundless freedom. And we can feel ourselves starting to stretch, stretching out, stretching up and out in different directions. And gently and very easily, without any effort, we just bring to mind any of the qualities or aspects that we would like to expand on or simply become this year. Just without any effort, just letting things float gently into our mind. What is it that I would like to do, be, see, hear this year? How would I like to be in this world? How would I like to experience my life in this world? Where there are no restrictions, if things from the past have been in some way a hindrance, just visualize absolute openness and freedom for yourself. Creating the world from our mind, creating the universe now from our thoughts. And just allowing things to very gently just arrive in the landscape of our mind. Allowing the brilliant self within to pop up images and pop up ideas. And some of those might be very clear to us, how we want to go about this year, increasing our sense of self, increasing our awareness, deepening our loving kindness, really blossoming our wisdom, and allowing our creativity to come into really strong manifestation. Allowing ourselves to experience love and passion and excitement like never before. To to experience happiness, joy, to taste the sweetness of life. Maybe not all day, 24 hours a day, but when it comes for that 1 hour or that 1 minute, to really savor it and be grateful. Deepening into gratitude. And deepening into simplicity. Allowing ourselves to live simple lives, but still deep and meaningful and purposeful lives. And as we're creating now the intentions for this year, feeling that they're coming from the richness of ourself, from the goodness of ourself, coming from a place of openness, and as we're doing this, literally setting into motion who we are and what we are for 2022. Evolving, growing, expanding. And as we move into this year, taking a few deeper breaths, gently opening our eyes and bringing this energy of optimism to ourselves and to all beings everywhere. Thank you so much for joining us, everyone, and Happy New Year again from Pamela and myself. Thanks, Pam, and see you next week for more of 2022. Love now.
Please share and have a great week.